Hello guys and welcome to the FM network with me, Mijhou FM. Today I'll be bringing you a video about the joys of retraining player positions. So remember, if you like what you see in today's video, please be sure to come on over to my channel. The link will be down in the description. And also, whilst you're here, please make sure that you subscribe to the FM network YouTube channel. But now, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, as I've said, today's video is about the joys of retraining player positions. But why would you want to train a player to play in a different position? Well, there are many different options and reasons why. Sometimes you may have an injury crisis, so the only option you've got is to play one of your current players in a different position. By retraining players to be able to play in other positions, obviously that will help you and help your squad depth. Also, other reasons might be that you may be stacked in one particular area and you need to be able to keep one of your favourite players in the team. You're not ready to let him go yet, so you need to try and make way for him to be able to still play. So again, retraining that player will obviously help to be able to keep him in the team as well as putting out your strongest side. So it also helps, like I said, with injury crisis, squad depth. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of money and you're a team that needs strengthening in certain areas, but you don't have the funds to bring players in, retraining players that you currently have in your squad, but not necessarily in your starting 11, will help for you to be able to have a strong team, but also not have to spend money. So there are plenty of options, like I have said. There are a few different things that are required for you to be able to retrain your player to the best that you can. Age isn't necessarily one of those requirements that is necessary. You don't have to have a young player to retrain. It works for older players as well. Obviously, if you've got a younger player, they've got more time to be able to perfect the position that they're practicing to train in, but it works again with older players, as I have said. Personality traits will help. If you have someone who is professional or hardworking, they're going to be able to develop into a different position a lot easier. Then you have attributes like determination. They always help as well. So there's a lot of key factors that help you train a player successfully rather than if they can or not, if that makes sense. So it doesn't matter if you want to train a player from a green circle to an area where they've got no ability at all. If they've got the attributes to be able to play that position, they are going to be able to play that position. Obviously, a key point for you to remember is you have to play a player in that position. They're not going to be able to train for a position but not get game time. It doesn't work. Also, other factors such as training, if they are currently not 100% familiar with your tactic, that's not necessarily going to help the workload for that player as well. So if you've got a tactic where tactical familiarity is really, really good, it's just less for them to do, really, isn't it? There are hidden attributes as well, which helps determine a player's career, basically. And versatility is one of the key points, which is built into the game. It's not necessarily something that you can find, but it is there. So that will obviously help them if they are a versatile player. If you've got a player with the attributes to be able to play in that position, you don't necessarily have to retrain them anyway. So if you have, say, an inside forward who has all the attributes of an advanced forward, for example, and you can play there, you can play him there without obviously retraining, but by retraining, it will probably speed up his familiarity with that role. It will make him more comfortable, but also beware if you do retrain the player and take him from, say, a natural position and retrain him somewhere else, eventually he will forget how to play in that role if he's playing a different role as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Other factors that can help is partnerships. If you play a player next to someone else and they speak the same language, they're in the same national team, they're friends, that will always help as well. So the key points are to make the player's life as easy as possible. If he's got a good environment around him, it will help that player retrain into that role. So I'm just going to go through with you what I would do to help retrain a player into a new role. So if we go to tactics here, we can see that the player that I'm going to be retraining is Bobby Firmino. So I'm going to try and retrain Bobby Firmino over a course of a season to play as a ball-playing defender. Now, if we look at Firmino's attributes, you can see here he has got no experience whatsoever of playing in defence. But if we look at his attributes altogether, you can see here his tackling is 14, passing and marking 13, 15 there. He's strong, he's fit, his mentals are really good, so he's composed, good at concentrating. So he's got a a lot of very good attributes to be able to play that role. If we go to his development and then click on training, you can see here he is currently training his playing position. So if we click on that now and have a look at central defence, put him on ball playing defender, say defend, it will highlight for you what attributes are required for that role. As you can see here, first touch 17, heading 12, could be better but it's still decent, marking 13, passing 15, tackling 14, technique 18. As I mentioned, his mentals are really impressive. You've got 16 anticipation, he's brave, so going up for those tackles and headers, he'll be up for it. He's composed, so maybe taking the barrage of like an attacking team, he'll be able to compose himself. He makes the right decisions. His positioning is good, so you know he's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's got good vision, so as a ball playing defender, he is going to be looking to spread those balls out, and his vision and his passing are going to help that. And he's got great work rate. Jumping reach isn't necessarily that great, but he has got the core attributes that you would want for a ball playing defender. But it's Bobby Firmino, he's a striker. So if we go to the additional focus, you can see here it gives you a lot of different attributes that he can focus on. His strength is 15, it's pretty decent. His jumping reach isn't that good, but as a defender you want him to be as strong as possible. So I'm inclined to click this one as another option for him to train. So I'm going to click on the strength there, and then hopefully these attributes will go up as well. You can also discuss a new trait with your staff. This helps because this will help mould the sort of player you want. So as you can see here, currently he likes to place shots, come deep to get the ball, looks to pass rather than attempting to score, likes the ball played into feet, and refrains from taking long shots. I believe you can only do one of these at a time, so you can choose to stop doing one of the attributes that they're doing, or you can teach him to learn something else. So we're just going to go in here and speak to Pep Linders. We're going to go on a defending training, and the options here we've got is we could start coaching Bobby Firmino to throw himself into tackles. Probably don't really want to do that because he's learning a new role. Probably don't want him getting sent off. Like to coach him to stay on his feet when tackling. That might be a good one. Or to start marking opponents tightly. And now he's going to start not diving into tackles, which will help his defensive mentality. If we go next on to the training, you see in this section here, we have a section called mentoring. Now, for me, I like to always group my players that play in similar roles so they can get the best of everyone else and shape it into their personality. There is a risk that sometimes you will pick up negative personality traits, but in this instance, I'm going to add my own group. I'm going to set CB for centre backs, then I'm going to go to add player, and then I'm going to select Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez. I'm going to stick Fabinho in there as well because he plays there, and then I'm also going to put in Bobby Firmino and add those players to the group. So now we have put Firmino into a mentoring group with the best players that play that role. So that can only be a good thing for him. The other thing that I would say is a good thing is, as I said before, I could play Fabinho here next to Firmino, and because they're both Brazilian, they speak the same language, that will help him settle in that area a bit more. I'm not going to for this experiment purely because we've got Virgil van Dijk next to him, but Fabinho will sit in front, so he will drop in, so there's a bit of familiarity there for him as well. As you can see, he is currently half a star in this role, but we are going to go forward until the end of the season and see how he does and see how well he progresses. Is it possible? Could Liverpool win the league? Maybe even with Firmino at centre back. Let's just now skip forward and we'll come back in a moment and see how he gets on. Okay guys, I'll see you in a sec. Okay guys, welcome back. As you can see here, Liverpool finished second in the league. There's a massive gap between Liverpool and City, so it's not necessarily helped Liverpool as a team, but let's check out how Bobby has got on in his role. You can see here, he's already up to 2.5 stars from that half star at the beginning, so that shows he's getting familiar with it. If we look here as well, he's also scored 4 goals and got 3 assists, but quite an interesting figure is he didn't quite make the 7 rating overall. So we can see here, he has got a green little circle and it says he is now accomplished as a defender. So he's a 3-star ball playing defender or a libero. Interestingly, some of his attributes have actually gone down, which you kind of would expect, but not necessarily in the defensive roles like the tackling, the marking. They've gone down as well. So that says to me he might have struggled a little bit. You see here, he played 38 games, so he played every single game at centre back. scoring 1 goal, 2 assists. Got 5 yellow cards, no red. A 6.86 isn't necessarily too bad. As I said, age doesn't really matter. He's 29 now and can do a job as a defender. We go into his training. Obviously, because we've skipped forward, we didn't have chance to discuss any new traits, but you can see here that does not dive into tackles is now a natural trait for him. So that training and that focus has actually worked. But overall, for Liverpool to finish second with Bobby Firmino in defence, not too bad, to be honest. You can see here, finished the season pretty well. If we click on him as well and go to reports, let's see where he sits in the defensive role. So he is currently now third best centre-back at the club. I'm not too disappointed. A second place finish, not the worst of seasons for Liverpool there, whilst having their main striker play at centre-back. There we go, guys. Bobby Firmino is now a ball-playing defender. So now we've done that one, let's check out who is next on our list. Okay, guys, now let's move on to our second player that we're going to focus on. As you can see, we're at Manchester United for this experiment. The player we're going to focus on today is Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba obviously hasn't had the most outstanding of time at United. He's come in for a lot of criticism. Sometimes people believe he can't fit into the team, especially since Bruno Fernandes has arrived. Obviously, in real life, currently, it seems to be working. But I thought, why not have a look at Pogba as a striker? So if we see here, you can see that his attributes are pretty good. If we go to Anthony Martial, for example, and compare him with Pogba, obviously I couldn't compare Van Dijk and Firmino in the earlier test because Firmino had no experience of defending, so they were incomparable. Whereas because these two are both like attacking players, it allows you to compare. And we're going to check how they both look as advanced playmakers. As you can see, Martial has 16, 15, 16 for dribbling, finishing and first touch. Pogba 16, 14 and 18. So arguably he's the better player there in that role. Pogba has better passing, better technique. Bravery isn't so good, so maybe for a striker you'd want him to be a bit braver, trying to like get in amongst shots within the box, and his concentration isn't necessarily that good, but he's got great composure. Anticipation is good. Physicals are insane. You know, he's strong, he's got great stamina, great pace, natural fitness. His jumping reach for a striker as well. Got great balance, agility and acceleration as well. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put Martial as the pressing forward. Other things to consider, Martial and Pogba are both French, they both speak the same language, so that can only be a good thing for Pogba, playing alongside someone that he is able to communicate with. Also as well, we'll go to the training and the mentoring. We go to add group again. This time we'll do ST for strikers, add players to the group, put them into a group. Pogba's actually going to have a lot of influence, but we're going to hope that he will get a lot of, especially from Rashford, them to help him play as a striker. Okay, also as well, let's go to Pogba's development and training. We can then move him from a central midfielder to an advanced forward on attack. It says here all the attributes that he needs. As you can see, they're all really good. And then again, we can look at his player trait. Go to here, place his shots into the corner. So he's got 16 composure. So if he's through on goal, you're pretty sure that he's going to be composed enough to slot it in. And hopefully we'll have a nice green circle here as well. And we'll see how Manchester United get on with Paul Pogba as their advanced forward. So again, we'll go to the holiday and let's check out and see how Pogba gets on as a striker. See you in a sec. We're at the end of the season now, and as you can see, Man United finished 5th, but Paul Pogba finished as top goal scorer with 14 goals. So let's have a quick look and see how he has done within that advanced forward role. As you can see here, he's got the nice little green circle. He's an accomplished advanced forward now. He's got some great stars there for these forward roles. His decisions and his acceleration have actually gone up. So he played 38 games in the league, scored 13 goals with 7 assists, 2 player of the matches, and finished on a 6.91. You can also see here as well that Pogba has got like a nice little relationship there with Martial and Fernandes, which can only be a good thing moving forward if he were to carry on for a second season. Interestingly, Martial only scored 6 goals in that pressing forward role, so maybe playing Pogba didn't actually help Martial. Cavani only got 1, Greenwood got 5, 10 for Rashford and Fernandes. So Pogba was actually pretty important to Man United's season. It was probably a really good season for him. So it's his joint best ever season. He's a good option to have. Paul Pogba, as a central midfielder, can equally play as an advanced forward on Football Manager 2021. Okay, guys, that is the end of today's video. If you have any questions or any comments, please be sure to leave them down below, and either myself or the FM Network guys we'll get back to you. In the meantime, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to the guys at the network for having me on as a guest creator. If you guys like the video as well, please pop on over to my channel. Feel free to come and say hi, check out the videos that I'm doing currently, and also please make sure to subscribe to the FM Network's YouTube channel yourself as well. So that's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully I will see you soon.